hop on it between all of us and just speak. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a step up from where we were. But if we had everything the way I wanted it, we would have like an actual studio in a room with a little bit of soundproofing. Each of us would have a mic on a stand, an arm that is drilled into a table that we can adjust as we need. You know, kind of like how radio stations have it set up. And we'd have like a switchboard, and you wouldn't hear these awkward clicks when I'm clicking on things. It would just be a silent button push and sliders going to make the volume go up and down.
Yep.
And we'd have everything preloaded so that I can just push a button instead of having to type something in and have it said verbally. So, don't look behind the curtain, but I literally just type in what I wanted to say, and it says things. So,
that's the dream.
Yeah.
It's achievable.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
It's achievable.
But not without your help, listeners.
Yes, give us money.
Give us money. Anyone who donates $100 to us, we will send you.
We will not stop until you give us cash.
Yeah. We will send you a photo of our hands in a handshake motion. So it's like you're shaking our hands. Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The Christmas card contribution?
Yeah, I mean, that would be nice.
GoFundMe?
Yeah, that would be the dream. We don't have the space for that. We don't have the equipment for that. I don't have the knowledge for that. I don't know how to set all that stuff up. I don't know how to use it. I could learn, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Or
One
we
step
could
at a time.
Or we could bring someone else in who does know how to do it, and they could produce the show for us. But, like, you're not going to get college credit or anything for it. If you'd like to be an intern who, A, does not get paid, and B, does not get credit.
But likes to get us coffee. We
Yeah.
have a job for you.
Yes. So if you like valuable experience and hard work, Dan D'Antoni Sports is the internship for you. No experience necessary, except you better have a master's.
Send your resume.
Send your resume. All right. So let's get back on topic before we really go off the rails.
Again.
Yeah.
All right.
First thing we're going to talk about, and I'm setting the timer right now. First thing we're going to talk about is the NCAA Tournament. For those of you who haven't seen it yet, excuse me, Virginia is the winner. They, for the first time ever, the Virginia Cavaliers win the NCAA Tournament. Skip Bayless made a really funny point. And I usually don't agree with Skip. I don't like Skip Bayless. But he said, for the first time, the Cavaliers win a championship where Draymond Green doesn't foul out. It's a good point. Clearly, he's talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers. But the Virginia Cavaliers NCAA tournament win. Big win for them. Like I said, first time in school's history that they've won the NCAA tournament. They can now add their name to that list of teams that have won, with the likes of City College of New York and UTEP.
Gonzaga.
Gonzaga. Yeah, and all the other elite basketball programs, the Oklahoma States of the world. Them. But no, congrats to the Virginia Cavaliers.
No way. I didn't have them. Fuck them.
I didn't have them either, but
I know that was a huge deciding factor in a lot of bracket challenges if you were in a pool with your buddies.
Yeah, wasn't it like it was some crazy number, like 7% of brackets might have had that matchup.
Yeah, I never would have. Whoever thought to put that scenario?
Well, you know what happens, right? People just do a bunch of brackets. Like, I know someone where I work. I'm not going to name names. I'm sure they're not listening.
I had what Garb?
You had Gardner Webb, yeah.
Yeah.
This one person at work did 38 brackets. So like,
Jesus. brackets.
Yeah, right. Like, who needs 38 brackets?
I mean,
Like, I guess they want to win that billion or whatever that Buffett offered, but like they calculated the permutations, and it's like a crazy high number of brackets available that like you'd have to get exactly right.
Yeah, which is almost as stupid as like those people who like spend $1 million on the lottery to try and win like the 200 million.
yeah.
Like,
Right.
like that's happened, and that's stupid. Like, you think it's a guaranteed thing, but there's so many combinations that even $1 million won't buy you. But
Yeah, slightly ups your chances, but it's not as much as you think for putting that kind of capital down.
yeah, I mean, it takes it from like a 1 in 10 million chance to like a 1 in 100 chance or something like that. You get like a 1% chance. Oh, Dan O'Shea, are you watching the Boston-Toronto game right now?
I am not. I should put it on.
Yeah, Toronto just tied it up. So look at this. It's Mr. Thursday on a Thursday watching Mr. Hockey.
There it is. Lines up perfectly.
Bowel movement, as Dan O'Shea calls him. Anyways, we'll get to hockey a little bit later. We're going to table this conversation for just a few minutes. But the amazing thing about the Cavaliers winning the tournament, the Virginia winning the tournament,
Jeez, the Cavs did it without LeBron. Amazing.
yeah, Cavs did it without LeBron. Yep, exactly. Is just how lucky they got in 3 straight games where the refs either blew calls or handed them a win. Particularly that game against Auburn. The refs really screwed Auburn. But 3 straight games, there was either a no call or a bad call in the last 10 seconds that decided the game.
Mm-hmm.
Which is insane. I don't know, you can call it conspiracy theory if you want. You know, maybe the Virginia...
It's like, how many second chances could Duke get?
Yeah, Duke, exactly. Duke, the same thing, except they only got it 2 in a row. And then Michigan State took care of business there. But Virginia, what they did with how lucky they got is overshadowed, in my opinion, by the fact that this team just went out and showed that you can have a super talented squad who's going to stick around for 1 year, or you can have a very good basketball team, maybe borderline great-ish, of upperclassmen, and that's winning out. You're seeing these one-and-done players like Zion. I'm sure Zion's going to be a one-and-done. You're seeing these one-and-done players a lot less winning championships as opposed to the more experienced teams. So I'm excited to see if that's a trend that continues. Before I've used up the entire time, I want to let you guys talk about the NCAA tournament. Whatever you want to say, Dan Beebe, I know that you're irritated. You really thought 16 seed Guard Webb was going to win it.
Yeah, shit, man.
Yeah, I know. I know.
It's, you know, you can only go so much with the favorites. God forbid that lucky seed comes through and wins it all for me.
That lucky 16 seed,
You know, I gotta look back. I don't even remember what the hell I had for that.
Was UMBC, who beat Virginia last year.
Yeah.
Which is one of the greatest upsets in sports history.
Yeah, I gotta look that up. If it's still even on the app here. That crazy frickin'...
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is. Dan O'Shea, what are your thoughts about Virginia winning or anything that has anything to do with the tournament from this year?
Well, as I've said before, defense wins championships. They were one of the top defensive teams, as was Texas Tech. I really thought Texas Tech just kind of shot themselves in the foot to end that game. They just could not close it out when they had the biggest opportunity that they could get, and Virginia hit a big three and everything. I agree with you that they probably shouldn't have even been there because of the Auburn thing. I really think it should have been Auburn advancing in that game. But I really would have liked to have seen Texas Tech close it out. They were like the Cinderella story after all the other lower seeds got knocked out. But that being said, it was a fun game. Virginia got earned overtime due to Texas Tech collapsing, and then they just ran away with it once overtime came. It was they traded a bucket, and then it was just all Virginia, I think, if I remember correctly. So Duke failed my bracket due to Texas Tech. So that was a little disappointing, but it was a fun March Madness after, I think, as we said on a previous episode, those some of those early games that were snooze fests were over. That the Elite Eight certainly wasn't a snooze fest.
No, you're right. The Elite Eight was probably, in my opinion, the best round.
Yeah. To be honest with you, though, I really actually kind of lost my interest in a lot of this tournament this year was how badly Duke did. And once seeing like those games where they barely squeaked through, I just kind of was like, this is a one-ranked seed. So,
yeah, well, teams are going to get the one seed based off of name recognition. You're never going to have a season where Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, Kentucky aren't a one seed.
Right, but
that's probably never going to happen again.
Right. But I mean, at the same time, it's like I would think, like, if they would have had, a harder time in the later rounds, but we're talking like early on.
Yeah,
seeing their struggles, and that was just it for me. I mean, like, once Duke was considered out and Kentucky was out, I pretty much, it lost the whole interest in it.
It depends because... I'm sorry, go ahead, O'Shea.
I was just going to say, I think a lot of people did. I think they took a big hit in ratings after some of those upsets, which it happens. It's, to me, it's more intriguing when the lower seeded teams can pull the upset. But a lot of people, there's billions of Duke fans and Kentucky fans that have never, watched more than just playoffs. So
I just want to throw out there, Dan O'Shea, that I don't believe you when you say there are billions of Duke and Kentucky fans.
Millions.
Oh, millions. Oh, I thought you said billions.
I had 17 of 63 picks correct.
17 of 63?
In that Yahoo bracket we did with our friends from Not a Clue.
It's not very good.
So well until Duke lost.
In my tiebreaker 101 to 50 was absolutely
not even close.
No.
Let me ask you, last thing we're going to say about this topic before we move on to the next topic.
NASCAR. Right.
It's not going to be NASCAR.
Someday.
No.
Oh, I think so.
Never.
You will talk about that.
Are you really that mad, though, that Duke didn't win a championship?
Yes. Yeah.
Were you a Duke fan now?
No, but I wanted them to freaking win.
I'm not. Just my bracket. That's all.
Yeah. Fuck my whole bracket.
The team you picked doesn't have to win the tournament for you to win your bracket.
It was just a weird tournament. I'm going to leave it at
that.
Me.
I was in first, and I think I ended in, second or third or something.
You got Syracuse didn't even make it out of the first round. That's shitty for ratings for a lot of people. Let's face it.
I mean, in upstate New York, you're not going to get a lot of Syracuse fans out in, Colorado.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I think the Syracuse believers are dying off.
Just like Bo Leave did.
In a decade at this point.
Syracuse is the elite program of New York State.
Those believers went to Suplex City.
Now that's high praise.
Yeah. All right, we're going to move on now because we're going to be good boys and we're going to follow the structure that we set. Next topic we're going to discuss. We're going to give more time to. We're not going to limit it to 10 minutes.